For 14 years, Oceanside, California has played host to the Supergirl Pro. What began as an idea to bring together the best women in surfing has evolved into the only all-female action sports, esports, and lifestyle series in the world.
Supergirl does an amazing job at mixing the young generation with the older, more advanced generation.
It's an event that's become a touchstone for empowerment through its positive messaging, mentoring, and social awareness. At the center of it all is the largest all-girl surfing event in the world, where women compete for valuable World Tour qualifying points, as well as the most sought-after trophy in women's surfing, the Red Cape.
I'm so excited to have my first cape.
With last year's event suffering, as we all have from the pandemic, this year's event was back and better than ever, and Surf City was stoked to once again host the Nissan Supergirl Pro of Surf. Each year, 88 of the best surfers in the world travel from all over to the legendary Oceanside Pier for the Supergirl Pro of Surf. In its 14 years, the event has generated history and amazing surf moments. A list of past champions is a who's who of the best surfers.
You know, there's a lot of really talented girls who have come before me who have worn the cape, and to be a part of it is really special.
But it's not all about the big names. It's also about the experience young surfers can get at an event like this. Olympian Tatiana Weston-Webb remembers what it was like at her first Supergirl.
I remember the first time I competed in this event. I was competing against one of my heroes and really good friends now, Bethany Hamilton, and she just inspired me so much. She has been one of my biggest inspirations growing up, and so I definitely didn't do well in my heat. I lost, but I just remember being so grateful for the opportunity to be in the heat with one of my biggest inspirations.
World Tour Pro and Supergirl veteran Alyssa Spencer also remembers her first event.
Yeah, the first time I surfed in Supergirl was in 2015. I was 12 years old. I used to come down here all the time when I was just learning how to surf, and I'd be the little girl running up asking for the autographs with my little book, so it's like funny to think that now I'm here competing in it every year.
For those little girls and all in attendance, they learn that this is about more than just surfing. It's about culture, community, and supporting one another. By Saturday morning, the event was well into the round of 64, with the best two surfers moving on from the four-person heats. The first heat of the day featured Ultimate Surfer star Brianna Cope.
It's such a women empowerment event, you know, everyone supporting everyone, even though we're all competitors. It's really cool to see all the women kind of perform and everyone wanting to win.
Back-to-back 6+ scoring waves would push Brianna onto the next round.
Honestly, I think what makes the event so special is the cape and being called Supergirl, because you really have to perform and be super throughout the whole event.
The next heat would feature 3-time Supergirl champion Coco Ho, stoked to be back in competition in Oceanside after a long layoff.
I was so happy to just know that there was going to be a Supergirl this year, and definitely very comfortable here in Oceanside. Here, the Supergirl vibe is probably the best place to come back to competition for me personally.
Coco's pair of 6.17 scores in a wave-starved heat would get her to the next round, along with up-and-comer Vahidi Inso.
Vahidi in the white going right at you folks on the pier. She puts one up.
But it was Alyssa Spencer who had the highest scoring wave of the round. An 8.17 on her second wave punched her ticket to move on.
My last wave, I didn't catch it until like 8 minutes left or something, so I just try to stay calm and know if a wave comes that I can do what I need to.
Fan favorite Bethany Hamilton made her return to Supergirl, and although she didn't make it into the next round, her courage and accomplishments are an inspiration for all in attendance at this event, as seen by the huge crowds she draws.
You can see the popularity, the inspiration that Bethany Hamilton brings to the world, and so many people on hand here just to get close to her.
So amazing to be a part of the Supergirl Pro, and here in Oceanside, it's such an inviting environment for everyone, whether you surf or not, to come. Yeah, I love it.
Strong surfing from Molly Picklum and Tia Blanco, who made it into the next round. For more than a decade, the town of Oceanside has been the welcoming home and gracious partner of the Nissan Supergirl Pro. The iconic Surf City has an atmosphere second to none and a surf break that keeps these girls stoked and coming back for more.
Yeah, Oceanside it's a wild card. It could be big, it could be small, it could be super perfect. For me, I have an affinity with Oceanside. I've always done well here at the Supergirl, and when I come to California, I actually spend most of my time here in Oceanside because there's always a really fun wave. So I actually surf the pier and the harbor the most out of all places in California.
Honestly, this wave is super fun. I'm from the island of Kauai, so it's really similar to a couple beach breaks that we have back home.
It's a super fun wave, but it can be really tricky. But I haven't gotten the Cape yet, so hopefully this year it can be my year, and I'll definitely be trying my hardest, so I'm excited.
The Nissan Supergirl Pro is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop NissanUSA.com. By the U.S. Air Force. Full-time, part-time, in or out of uniform. Join us. By Jolynn, for women who inspire us, the official swimwear sponsor of the Supergirl Surf Pro and the unofficial sponsor of Active Girls Everywhere. And by Paul Mitchell Professional Salon Products, cruelty-free since 1980.
The classic Hollywood story. We meet the hero, the all-new Nissan Frontier. Hero faces seemingly impossible challenge. Tension builds. The plot twist. The hero prevails. In Hollywood, this would be the end. But out here, we're just getting started.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
Every superhero has an origin story. We all got our start somewhere. For us, it was the U.S. Air Force.
Welcome back to the 2021 Supergirl Surf Pro.
All right, Oceanside, how's everyone feeling today?
This year, the event was back to feeling a little normal as sponsors, interactive displays, and live music were on full display for the fans in Oceanside.
Just around the whole event, it's so positive, and the atmosphere is just such a fun place to be around.
There's just so much fun stuff going on at this event, and so many things besides just the heats in the water. They've really done a great job.
One of those sponsors was Gillette Venus, whose heritage is closely linked to the ocean, making their partnership with Olympic champion Carissa Moore so perfect.
I'm super excited to be putting on a More Aloha event in partnership with Supergirl here in Oceanside, and the days are just so much fun. They're literally filled with more love, and the girls, the 24 girls that applied and we selected, just have brought the best energy today, and it's all about just making friendships, going out in the water, stepping outside your comfort zone, chasing your dreams, and just inspiring, encouraging each other. That's what we need more of, lifting each other up.
The group collaborated for the first ever More Aloha event, where girls from all over the world took part in an inspiring day at the ocean, joining Carissa and other mentors like Tatiana Weston Webb for a day of learning, surfing, and other activities in a safe and supportive environment.
So I think what unites Supergirl, Carissa, and Venus is our love for the ocean and the fact that women and girls can be a big part of protecting it. So we're just so excited to see this through Carissa's surf camp with the girls, through the ocean conservation panel, and we're hugely thankful to be a part of this really big community of ocean lovers that are here this weekend.
All those in attendance had an amazing time interacting with role models and feeling the positive energy at the event.
surfing with Carissa and Tati earlier was so fun. They're so inspirational.
All the surfers are so nice, and it's just so fun to be out here and surf with them and get great tips, and I'm super stoked about it.
The Saturday sun brought huge crowds to Oceanside and the Supergirl event as the round of 32 kicked off. Early heat saw tricky conditions at low tide, making the surfing tough. In Heat 3, three-time champ Coco Ho was in the lineup with Caitlin Simmers, Brianna Cope, and Havana Cabrero. The girls had no choice but to attack the smaller waves.
The tide is low, and so up and riding Coco Ho, picking the eyes out of this.
Ooh.
Nice forehand re-entry.
Here is Caitlin Simmers, last year's co-champion with Lakey Peterson, so she does that one critical snap we've been talking about.
Coco and Caitlin would move on to the round of 16.
It's been beautiful to see the growth of this event. I think 2016 when I won, the crowd was insane, and I have to say it was like 95% women. It was the coolest event.
Heat 6 was all Alyssa Spencer. She would put on a 6.40 on her third wave, followed up by a 4.90 on her fourth scored wave. But another last-minute wave would prove to make a difference as Sarah Baum would sneak one in.
30 seconds remaining. This is Sarah Baum up and riding. Nice wall in front of her.
Oh, yeah.
Slash in the pocket. And a big hit on the end section gets the fins loose.
A 6.0 wave would put her into second and onto the round of 16. In Heat 7, Huntington Beach native Mia Collins strings together one of the more impressive two-wave combos of the heat. Her savvy use of priority would put her into the round of 16 along with Tia Blanco.
It's really tricky. Like, the waves are really good and there's a lot of great opportunities, but they're kind of, it's slim pickings, you know? I mean, I did my best. Like, I'm really proud of myself in this contest and I'm really stoked.
In Heat 8, the final heat of the round, Caroline Marks came out firing.
Caroline Marks, known for her powerhouse backhand surfing. Bang!
An 8.50 on her first wave set the tone for the rest of the heat as she proved why she's one of the most talented surfers on the world tour. Caroline followed up with a 7.17 twice in a heat that she dominated. A 15.67 was the highest two-wave combo of the round.
Supergirl's got such a great vibe, you know, there's just tons of Brad fans and the waves are always fun and just good vibes.
Another great round of surfing with favorites like Alyssa Spencer, Coco Ho, and Tatiana making it through. We also had some buzzer beaters from both Chelsea Tuak and Sarah Baum. We've got some great round of 16 surfing to look forward to after the break as we begin our head-to-head action. Welcome back to the Nissan Supergirl Surf Pro. This year, guests, athletes, and VIPs were treated to a welcome party at the Pacific Coast Spirits Craft Distillery and Kitchen. Everyone enjoyed a creative menu of food and drink and the good times and camaraderie that epitomized the Nissan Supergirl Pro. Finals day at this year's Supergirl Pro began with overcast skies as we woke up with a very typical marine layer. But, as is often the case, the skies would clear and the fans would flock to watch the surfers and enjoy the festival village that is one of the hallmarks of Supergirl.
I think this is by far the most inviting event. Like, women want to come. There's the Paul Mitchell booth going on. There's like so many fun activities, so it's really special.
It takes great partnerships and sponsors to put on an event like the Supergirl Surf Pro, and one of those is the title sponsor, Nissan.
Nissan is super excited to be here at Supergirl Surf Pro. We've been here for about 5 years, so this is home to us. The event keeps getting better and better every year. With every activation, we see more and more people coming to support the female surfers as well as Nissan in our activations in the booth. It brings a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and we're excited to be here.
Our first two surfers of the day were Sawyer Lindblad and Betty Lou Johnson. Sawyer jumped out to an early lead with a 5.17 on her first wave.
Sawyer Lindblad, the 15-year-old from San Clemente, used to the reform, common thing next to the piers in Huntington and San Clemente as well, and she's put together a beauty.
At less than 7 minutes left in the heat, Sawyer would take advantage of another opportunity. That 6.1 wave would put her in the lead. Betty Lou would find an opportunity, but a 5.77 wouldn't be enough to advance. In Heat 2, fellow Australians Macy Callahan and Keely Andrews went head-to-head. Macy Callahan got out to a quick start. A 6.67 on her first wave set the tone. Keely would also seize her opportunity.
I knew it was going to be a pretty good score just because of the size of the wave, and I knew that if I could get one half-decent turnout in the back, and I saw Macy looking at it, I know how good she is on her backhand, so I knew I had to pull the trigger and go, whether I got a score or not.
An 8.67 would be one of the highest scored waves of the contest and help the young gun get to victory.
Macy and I have surfed so many heats together. I think that's probably the first time I've beaten her in a man-on-man heat, but yeah, she's such a great surfer, and every time I surf against her, she lifts my surfing to another level, so it's always fun to surf against her.
Coco Ho surfing against Vahidi Inso is a classic story of deep experience versus emerging youth. Vahidi's first wave was solid.
To just get that 6 already in my belt, I think it was just a great starting point for me.
Then Coco's 5th wave of the heat, a 6.93 put the pressure on. The pair would catch a split peak.
So on her forehand, nice first turn, cut back, now up into the lip.
Coco on the right.
Splitting this wave right here, going either side.
But Vahidi's left would give her a 6.10.
I heard the people on the pier cheering for me, and I think that just really uplifted my spirit even more. I saw her paddling for the right, and I know that I'm probably strongest on my forehand, so I stuck to the left, and when I heard the off the top, and I knew that wasn't me, but I knew it was Coco.
A great upset from the young gun, taking out the former champion.
She's one of my biggest inspirations. She's not only a great surfer, but she's also a great human being. I woke up pretty nervous. I know Coco is such a great surfer, and I think I really had to just surf my best to be able to beat her, so I'm just beyond. I'm so thrilled right now.
In Heat 5, Chelsea Tuak's patience would pay off, catching the best wave in the heat with only 5 minutes left. The 6.0 scored wave would help her get past Sarah Baum and into the quarterfinals. 2015 Supergirl champion and Olympian Tatiana Weston Webb had the only score on the board for nearly 15 minutes of the heat against Alyssa Spencer.
That heat was so slow in the first 10 minutes. I mean, I got lucky that good left came in 10 minutes into the heat, but yeah, it definitely is a little stressful when you have slow starts, especially against Tati. I was I know I'm gonna need 2 good waves.
A 7.0 would put her in the lead. Back-to-back waves for Alyssa and a 6.67 on her second wave would create some distance between her and Tati.
After I got the first one, I knew that I was just gonna need 1 more good wave and ended up getting, I think, a 6. So I put myself in a pretty good spot. Just a lot of things went my way in that heat, and I made some smart decisions.
But fierce competitor Tatiana would begin to climb back with a 7.57.
Tatiana Weston Webb from Kauai, moving through towards the pier. Let's see if she can take 1 more hit off the lip. Nice.
Then Alyssa would shut the door. An 8.0 on her final wave moves the local Alyssa Spencer past Tatiana and into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that was definitely a really big heat for me. Tati's one of the girls that I look up to so much, and I was definitely a little bit nervous going into it, but I knew that if I could get myself on the right waves, that I could put up a good battle with her.
Huntington Beach local Mia Collins' second wave was a high score of the heat and an impressive ride.
Mia Collins' big backhand slash, spray to the skies, and again.
An 8.67 would keep her in the top spot, and she'd move on to the quarterfinals by sticking with her plan.
You can only hope and pray that your plan works out, and it did, so I'm really stoked to have gotten that wave.
In the final heat of the round, Caroline Marks paddled out with Ultimate Surfer cast member and winner Tia Blanco. Caroline's aggressive surfing scored her a 7.67 on her first wave.
This is Caroline Marks, hailing from the San Clemente area, rides trestles frequently on this same board. This is number 6 in the world, been runner-up twice on the championship tour. It's just a matter of time before she gets a red cape. Yeah.
Tia would score well on her third wave with a 4.90, but a final wave score of 5.67 for Caroline would be too much to overcome, and Caroline would move to the quarterfinals, making this Olympian 1 step closer to her first red cape.
It's definitely been a crazy year. The Olympics was the highlight of my year. It was an experience that I'll never forget, and just living out my dream, and it's been really fun. I'm just, loving it.
After the break, we've got the first heats of our quarterfinal matchups. Keely Andrew against Sawyer Lindblad and Caitlin Simmers against Vahidi Inso. You're watching the Nissan Supergirl Pro. Don't go anywhere.
So, what should we do today?
think it's the sun.
Mom, can we go to the beach?
Should we just go see a movie?
Yes.
I'm always up for a good movie.
Go Rogue in the all-new fiercely reimagined Nissan Rogue.
From the outside, who would know what lies beneath? Unleash it with a machine as savage as you are. Lenovo Legion. Stylish outside, savage inside.
This is how legends are made.
I feel like I've always known what I wanted. I always knew I wanted to become. I've always wanted to be a pro surfer since I was in 4th grade. And I'm here now, and obviously you have goals within that goal of what you want to become, which for me is world champion, and to pave a stronger, more powerful path for the next generation.
Welcome back to Oceanside, California, and the 2021 Nissan Supergirl Pro. The people are piling in to see who will be crowned champion this year, as well as to enjoy all the other attractions at this one-of-a-kind event.
I've had a chance to kind of walk around a little bit just even in this event, and it's so cool, everything that they have going on. It's so much more than just like a surfing event, and yeah, it's like a little festival in itself. So yeah, I really love that it's just more than just the surfing event. I think that's really cool.
A fan favorite was the Lenovo Legion esports arena, where gaming fans spent the weekend taking turns on the consoles, as well as playing in the Supergirl Gamer Pro event.
So we are here with Supergirl Gamer Pro Series. It is a tournament that is built together to empower females, as well as encourage females in the gaming industry.
I started playing video games when I was really young, and it was definitely very male-dominated, but having events like this encourages women to come out of their shell and, you know, try gaming and see if that's something that they like to do. It's fun having like teammates that are like your sister, someone you can relate to, and now having players that we can look up to that are also women. We are all about women empowerment. We're always excited to come out here and represent the women in gaming scene.
The quarterfinals kicked off with young gun Sawyer Lindblad taking on Australia's Keely Andrew.
We got ourselves a battle here for quarterfinal number 1. Keely Andrew and Sawyer Lindblad.
Keely would drop in first with a great wave.
Beautiful technique, getting low, go invert into the lip. You really have to have your weight forward towards the nose in order to push through this whitewash and get the inside section. And that's what she's been able to do all day. The icing on the cake the judges want to see. And boom.
A 7.0 would put her in the early lead.
Now Sawyer Lindblad, 16 years of age, going for her first wave.
Boom, off the top, local lady coming through.
Sawyer's first efforts get her a 4.33, but then Keely would catch another good one off the back. Her huge second turn off the top would get her a 7.43 and a comfortable lead.
Let's just take a look at the replay here of Keely Andrew. Strong first turn, continuing the run. Oh, big turn. That second turn was enormous.
Sawyer would try to get the most out of a few waves.
Sawyer Lindblad.
Oh.
Dang, she needed that.
And with 2 minutes left in the heat, she'd connect with one.
This is one opportunity she has. She's got to make the most of it. Up and riding. Good first turn, check turn. Power. Huge turn.
Unfortunately, a 5.67 was close, but not enough, and Keely Andrew would move on to the semifinals.
It was really nice to put that heat together in the first 5 minutes and kind of got to just sit out there and save some energy. And yeah, it's a bit tricky when it gets really slow like that, but I know Sawyer's such an incredible surfer. She kind of surprised me yesterday, so it was nice to get one back on her.
Caitlin Simmers and Vahidi Inso would come out hot in the second quarterfinal, both trying to take advantage of the early waves.
This is Vahidi up and riding, using her priority. Beautiful first turn. Caitlin Simmers takes off, overhead for her. Big first turn.
Caitlin already had 3 scored waves when she caught this left.
It kind of changes every day, so doesn't really matter like how much you practice here because it could be different, but I'm definitely really comfortable here.
Powerful surfing would get her the best score yet with a 7.33. Vahidi would drop in on her second wave, needing some good scores to catch up.
Massive turn, got the fins loose.
2 huge turns would get her a 6.80 and tighten up the heat. But Katie would prove to be unstoppable on a huge one-turn wave.
Huge turn. Her board was completely out of the wave. See what the judges thought about that. 6-9. Look at this. Wow. That might well be the maneuver of the contest so far. And she gets an 8.17. An 8.17. Wow, I would have wanted a 10.
Easily one of the most entertaining heats of the event, and local Caitlin Simmers would get one step closer to the finals. And although she didn't get through, we caught up with a very gracious 13-year-old Vahidi Inso after the heat.
Tough heat, made it to the quarterfinals, but you're up against the 2020 winner. What was it like out there today?
I knew it was going to be a hard heat. I'm really glad I went down to Katie. She, not only she's a homegirl, but she's just such an amazing surfer.
Well, it's unbelievable that this is your first QS contest. You made it all the way to the quarterfinals. How proud are you today of yourself?
I'm just so proud of myself. I definitely along the road to the quarters, I've had some rough heats, but proud of my teams. I just really I'm just so grateful and appreciative of everything.
Well, there's pink capes running around, little girls everywhere looking up to you and all of the girls here today. What was your experience like at the Supergirl Pro?
When I first came down, I was like, I don't know who's going to want my signature, but no, it was so cute. I definitely was one of those girls, wanting a signature from all the best surfers, so it's so cool to be on the flip side of it.
The Nissan Supergirl Pro will continue with more great surfing action after the break.
Over the summer, I learned how to surf, and I already learned how to paddle for my own waves and stuff, and I was wondering how I can get better.
Yeah? Yeah. Just surf more. Surf more and more. Catch more waves.
Welcome back to the Nissan Supergirl Pro. A huge part of this multimedia festival and sporting event is the live music. The music stage draws huge crowds, and with such a long layoff between events, this year it was going off with acts like Upsal, Maggie Lindemann, Kira Kosarin, Sophia Carson, Austin Mahone, and the Plain White Tees.
You guys feel good there? Yes? I'm not down here, my crazies down here.
Before the break, we saw Caitlin Simmers take out Vahidi Inso with an impressive 8.17 wave. And Keely Andrews surfed a great heat to move past Sawyer Lindblad. The two will go head-to-head in our first semifinal. There's still 2 heats to go to decide the second semifinal. In Heat 3 of the quarterfinals, Chelsea Tuak got out to a powerful start against Alyssa Spencer. Her first wave of the heat would get her on board with a 7.0 wave score.
So the first turn here comes up, nice turn, nice slash, and this one here, that takes real strength to pull the board down and then ride out of that with all the foam bouncing around you. So a good start for Chelsea Tuak.
Alyssa's patience would pay off as it was nearly 8 minutes into the heat before she caught her first wave.
Right on down the line, being patient, gets up top, buckets of water, lovely.
A 7.17.
On the takeoff, look down, it's about a head-high wave. Hard off the bottom, set the turn. Here she is, she's looking at the oncoming section. Wow! Spray to the heavens.
Alyssa would follow up quickly with a second wave. A 3.83 would put her on top with a 2-wave score of 11. At about the 10-minute mark, both girls would catch scoreable waves. Chelsea would still need a 4.0 wave to take the lead.
We kind of battled for position at the start, and luckily I got that first one on her. So I was feeling strong, and the 7's a great score for today. I just needed to back it up, and I think I was scratching where I shouldn't have been. I should have just waited.
A 3.50 would be her last wave and not enough.
Because it's so slow, you kind of just want to get a second score on the board because you don't know if it'll lull for the next 10 minutes. So it's in those two mindsets of get a fast one or wait, and I think I probably should have waited.
Alyssa used her priority to eat up the rest of the clock, and she would advance into the next round.
Hello, folks. Vi, the future of surfing here, all the way from Oceanside.
Man, I don't know how it is in the water, but from just watching it on the screen, this is scary.
Yeah, so Alyssa Spencer takes that priority. Local girl, relatively speaking, is going to move on to the next round.
Yeah, that he was definitely a little bit slow. I just got lucky that one ended up coming to me. Chelsea got the 1.7 off the takeoff of the heat, and I knew that I was going to have to put up another score similar to hers to make that one, and I was just happy that I was able to find that wave. And then, yeah, it was definitely a little bit of playing tactics at the end, but I was able to make it through.
The last quarterfinal of the day was Caroline Marks and Mia Collins.
Caroline Marks, she's always so exciting, and especially as a goofy foot, I love to watch Caroline.
Caroline would push the pace of the heat and have 4 scored waves under her belt before Mia caught her first one.
She already has a 6.17 and a 4.83, and again, finding the critical moment and just not faltering.
A 5.0 wave score for Mia would help her out a little.
This is Mia Collins finally getting one on the scoreboard.
Then Caroline's 5th wave of the heat would come off the back.
We'll watch Caroline Marks for you folks at home as we're talking with Vi Enzo. Taking a peek here of live in our face.
Oh
wow,
my God.
That went from slow motion to like,
holy
wow,
cow.
Caroline Marks on fire. Give it up for her.
A 6.87 would be the highest scoring wave in the heat up to that point. Caroline's 9th and final wave would put a stamp on it. A 7.33 wave would be a great finish to a heat where Caroline's aggressive approach put her through to the semifinals.
Yeah, today there's been a lot of lulls in the action, so I was just trying to make sure when I did see an opportunity that I would really make it count. But the waves were super fun and been having a blast.
With that final heat, our semifinals are set. We've got local Caitlin Simmers battling against the Australian Keely Andrews in semifinal 1. Caroline Marks will take on Alyssa Spencer in semifinal 2 to see who makes it to the finals. Before we go to break, we asked some of the surfers to see if they could remember the first time they ever came to Supergirl.
Future world champion here, world champion crawler.
I've been coming here since 2013, so it's taken me all those years to kind of get my head around it.
My first Supergirl memory, I think I was 12 years old. I was actually just talking to my coach about it. It was one of my first major pro events, and I remember I had some girls on the CT in my heat, and I was just super starstruck.
As a little girl, I was already surfing in it, so I was like 14, kind of like Katie Simmers and Sierra Kerr and the girls then. So very equivalent to like growing up with the jersey on here, and that's why so many years later I'm still here and still comfortable. I think for the girls who grew up surfing it, like Carissa and myself and a lot of the girls in my generation, it's really special event because it is familiar faces every year. You got the same ladies at the check-in, and you know Rick Bratman's behind it, and yeah, just familiarity is huge here, and it is like a little homecoming, and it's like a reunion essentially.
The Supergirl's always been such a rad and positive and fun event, and it's been really cool to be a part of it every year, and yeah, since I've been 12 years old, so it's been rad.
It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. Then we took a hard left in East Africa. A right at Baja. A 180 in the empty quarter. And that 65-degree incline at Hell's Revenge. A few million miles later, and voila. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
At Paul Mitchell, we believe in the beauty of giving back, protecting our forests and waterways, feeding families in need through sustainable community gardens, and ensuring that our products are always cruelty-free. Big or small, there's beauty in making a difference every single day. That's what connects all of us together in a deep, meaningful way. Join us. Live beautifully.
The Nissan Supergirl Surf Pro continues to rock through the weekend as the best surfers in the world compete here in Oceanside for the Red Cape. And some of the best female DJs from around the globe competed in the Supergirl Sound Session all-girl DJ competition. Any DJ, pro or amateur, could submit to qualify. And then the top 8 competed live on the soundstage in a head-to-head bracketed competition for the title. Shout out to all that participated, and huge congratulations to DJ Amanda XO for taking home the title. Our first semifinal features Caitlin Simmers, the Oceanside local who battled past Vaheen Fierro and young star Vahidi Inso en route to the semi. She'll surf against Keely Andrew, whose 8.67 wave in the round of 16 was the highest scoring in the competition thus far.
This is semi-final, heat number 1. First 2 progress through from this into the final. And at the end of today, there will be a new Supergirl. And Caitlin Simmers having a look at this one. Priority is with Keely Andrew. Big re-entry there for Caitlin Simmers, and a big turn also for Keely Andrew.
Keely would get a 6.07. Katie would impress the judges with her big turn. A 7.50 would extend her lead. Caitlin continued her aggressive approach on her 4th wave.
The local girl from Oceanside gets radical, tail out the back. She is having fun.
A 6.67 score after that huge ripping turn.
It just rides down like, yeah, that was nothing.
Yeah, I got this.
Keely finds a nice wave that sets up for her under priority.
Here goes Keely Andrew for her 3rd wave. Got an open face to work with. She throws heaps up top. Looking to get a little critical maneuver there. Oh! That would have been a spectacular score if she was able to muscle that out.
So close, but a slip off her board, and the judges give her a 4.6. Keely's 4th wave of the heat would come soon after.
Keely Andrew in red having a go at it.
Oh, what a fantastic turn there. That was really well executed.
A 5.10 would improve her overall, but still not enough to overtake Katie with only 10 minutes left. The rest of the heat would be all Katie. A big wave would lead to an almost spectacular turn.
Huge backhand turn, takes to the air. Wow.
Then, with 3 minutes, Katie would find the highest scoring wave of the heat.
On her backhand again, big vertical re-entry. And again, getting radical.
A 7.47 would seal the deal, and last year's team champion would be well on her way to the finals and a singles title. Supergirl sponsor Jolynn created an incredible line of merchandise for this year's event. We recently caught up with Jolynn brand ambassador and 2-time Supergirl champion Courtney Conlog as she explored the incredible climbing around Big Bear, California.
I had 3 concussions in 7 months in 2019, and because of those concussions, I was out of the water for almost a year. With that time out, there was a lot of recovery and stuff that I had to do. I ended up, towards the end of that recovery, taking up rock climbing. It was one of the best things for me and for my head, and I feel like it helped me focus on process a lot. What I love about it, for me, I feel like it's a process of life. You know, you create your plan, you stay in the present, you don't get too far ahead of yourself, and you don't look behind. Really happy with where I am now. I feel like I'm back to where I need to be with surfing, and feeling like I'm ready to kick butt for 2022. I've been a part of Jolynn for a little bit now, and it's been a fun, exciting partnership. You know, I've been collaborating with them with designs, doing a ton of R&D, especially because of just my lifestyle is very active. I'm always moving, and so what I love about them, they're so in the direction of empowering women to just be as powerful as they can and to conquer anything. There's a lot of exciting things in the pipeline. I can't wait for them to be more involved in surf, and this has been such a great step for them, and they're active where, I mean, I rock it all the time. Sea Tiger has been a passion of mine for a long time, and 2020 gave me a bit of time away from the tour, and I started one step at a time and It's a awesome coffee brand, and yeah, it brings a smile, you know, it's joy in a cup. One of my favorite things about Sea Tiger is I want to empower people, and I want to inspire them to take action, to move, and to tackle the outdoors and be the best version of themselves. You know, the one thing I've learned in my lifetime is there's no mountain you can't conquer. It's just finding a way and focusing on process and baby steps, you know. 2022, after everything I've gone through, I mean, the past couple years, I have goals of obviously conquering the world title, and not ashamed to say it. I think for any young kid, if you have a goal, don't be afraid to talk about it, you know? Manifest it, make it come true.
The winner of this semi-final will go up against Caitlin Simmers into the final.
Semi-final 2 would feature a battle of the goofy footers with Caroline Marks taking on Alyssa Spencer, who took out world number 2 Tatiana Weston Webb on her way to this semi-final.
Hold on to those autographs. Here we go. This is Caroline Marks on her backhand.
A 7.33 on a head-high wave with a huge turn.
And just the precision and the power off the bottom, completely vertically, and just driving the board back down.
Momentum on her side, Caroline would find a gift that kept on giving.
Out of the water, this is Marks on her next wave. Going towards you folks on the pier. Wrapping it together, and look at the speed. Keeping that flow going, the power, still a little bit more to work with. Right there, and this wave is just working for her all the way throughout. Give it up for Caroline Marks. The furthest we've seen a wave taken to the pier thus far today, if not the competition.
A 7.43 would replace her 5.83, and Caroline would have a decent lead over Alyssa. Alyssa knew she would need a huge score and makes a critical mistake on a nice wave.
Lots of speed, huge turn. Oh, that was a big score. Waiting on the other side. Had she been able to complete that maneuver?
Then, with under a minute left, Alyssa would find a bit of hope off the back. But a 5.80 would not be enough to best the voracious surfing of Caroline Marks, and she'd move on to the final.
Getting after it, Caroline Marks still on her march towards that cape. Up, slash, the power, the speed, the consistency. Yeah, put your hands together, Caroline Marks.
It is going to be Caroline Marks in the final up against Caitlin Simmers.
The waves are super fun, and I'm feeling super good, and I'm stoked to be in the final. And I've gotten second here, and I've gotten third here a lot, so hopefully I can take it out.
Stay tuned. After the break, Olympian Caroline Marks and local phenom Caitlin Simmers compete for the title of Nissan Supergirl Surf Pro Champion and the coveted Red Cape.
Caitlin Simmers up against one of the best in the world.
The moment I had wings put on my chest, I told myself, I'm proud of you. Something I would tell my younger self as a woman or as a minority in the aviation career field, hard stuff is going to happen. Don't let that stop you. Keep your vision in sight and just know that in the Air Force, there are people who are rooting for you, whether they look like you or not.
The Nissan Supergirl Pro was brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today. For great offers on our most exciting lineup ever, shop nissanusa.com. And by Celsius Essential Energy, the official energy drink of the Supergirl Surf Pro. To learn more, visit www.celsius.com. And by Lenovo Legion Gaming PCs and monitors. Stylish outside, savage inside. And by White Claw Hard Seltzer, your open invitation to escape to pure enjoyment, whatever that means for you. Made simple because fun always is. Welcome back to the 2021 Nissan Supergirl Surf Pro. We've had an amazing weekend filled with activities, live music, DJ competitions, and the supportive and empowering atmosphere that embodies the Supergirl event.
Honestly, putting on events like More Aloha and being around the next generation and seeing the girls just kind of flourish and smile and it just brighten their day. Like, that's honestly why I do what I do.
And it's so cool just to have everyone down here on the beach getting some sunshine and cheering on their favorite surfers. And surfing is such a positive environment for people around the world, and it's a place where you can really just be yourself and rock life.
One of the many highlights every year was the adaptive surfing event. This year, Supergirl was proud to expand it to a full competition featuring a stacked heat of world-class athletes.
Here with Charles Chucker-Webb and Bethany Hamilton.
And here comes Elena Nichols. Elena taking off on the right, Faith Lennox taking off on the left. Faith frontside, drawing a nice line, getting a nice little cut back.
Alana Nichols on the ski, paddling for a bob, takes the drop.
Oh! That was insane.
But Elena just able to hold on, gets her paddle on the inside. She's gonna try to make the most of this one. She's claiming that. She's like, yes.
Paralympian Alana Nichols would take gold in the sitting division, and U.S. Open Adaptive champion Faith Lennox would take the top spot in the standing division. A huge congratulations to all involved in this motivational event.
Welcome on in. This is the Nissan Supergirl Pro Surf Pro Finals.
16-year-old Caitlin Simmers paddled out with Caroline Marks under sunny skies and promising surf conditions.
And we're ready to rock, roll, and rumble in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is where it all happens.
Unfazed by her world-ranked opponent, Caitlin would drop in on the same wave as Caroline and rip one.
It's Caitlin Simmers on a backhand, huge turn, and again, are you kidding? Caitlin Simmers comes out blazing.
Yeah, last year we did win, but I don't know if it really counts because it wasn't individual, but hopefully I couldn't get it this year.
Local gal at 16 just knows this wave so well, and what a great way to start it off.
7.17 got the heat started out great for Katie, who's looking for an individual title after last year's doubles win. Then Caroline Marks fires right back with a nice wave towards the pier.
She's reaching down low, smacking it off the top, getting right back in the pocket. The Pistons are firing one more time, and yet another.
Partly it's the speed that she generates, but her ability to pick a wave that's going to be open on the face. And that wave was a great example of that, able to fit in 4 turns.
A 6.5 wave score would improve her situation, but Caitlin would fire right back.
Up and riding Caitlin Simmers. Nice first turn. Up into the lip. And again, such precision and such power.
A 7.10 on another beautifully surfed wave.
Both these women are able to generate speed. That was incredibly precise surfing. Caroline Marks is sitting behind Caitlin Simmers, needing a 7.77.
But then Caroline proved why she's ranked 6th in the world.
As we see Caroline Marks taking a left hand, a lot of speed. Takes to the air, an air reverse, and she rides out. Caroline Marks. Oh my God. Wow.
Sticking to her board and riding out, the gutsy trick gets Caroline an 8.33 and puts her in the lead over Caitlin.
Wow. Fireworks in the ocean.
Another long wait in between sets, and Caitlin knew she would need to do something heavy to get back in the lead. Then at the 2-minute mark, Caitlin would go for it.
Katie Simmers up and riding the local girl. What can she do? Big score is needed. Big reaction. Oh!
The huge air attempt wouldn't be enough.
3, 2, 1.
And in what was the highest scored head-to-head heat of the competition, Caroline Marks would be the champion.
Caroline Marks is your Supergirl for 2021. She is going to take home the coveted Supergirl cape.
A big goal of mine is to push the progression of women's surfing, and aerial maneuvers are a part of that, and the fact that I was able to pull it off in the final was really special to me, and I'm really stoked.
Caroline Marks, she is now your Supergirl, your Nissan Supergirl Surf Pro.
Magic moments in sport.
Thanks for watching the Nissan Supergirl Surf Pro from Oceanside, California. A huge congratulations to all those who competed, from our More Aloha event to longboarding, to the DJs, the e-gamers, the adaptive surfers, and to our champion, donning the red cape, Caroline Marks. who earned the top spot on her 8th visit to the event, a testament to the level of competition and the legacy that is Supergirl.
I just think do what makes you happy. You know, surfing makes me so happy, and that's like the reason why I'm here. And, you know, give it your all and go for it.
Promotional consideration brought to you by Mission Pacific Hotel. Discover a sanctuary by the beach with impressive oceanside views and a distinct coastal playground right outside your door. A very special thanks to the great partners that supported the event, including the City of Oceanside, Kilowatt Events, Athletes Therapist, Oceanside Longboard Surf Club, the artists, instructors, speakers, and influencers who made the event so special, and all the amazing volunteers.